Well, so much for taking off on a Sunday. I saw this breaking last night. By the way, I know I'm mentioning it in every video, but because it's super important, if you haven't yet, join our Discord. It's a members area, whatever. It's a few bucks, but news breaks there first before anywhere. You talk directly to me. You can send me tips. I'll do videos. We talk. There's also groups for like first-time moms, book clubs, sports clubs, all sorts of stuff. It's a huge community. So the quartering.com/join. You download the Discord, join. There's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to use Discord. You'll figure it out. And the more people we can get in there, the quicker we can break news, the more effective we can be. And you can support the channel too. So all are very, very good. Last night, it broke that at a yacht club or a popular restaurant in a marina, some absolute lunatic who was well armed with a rifle, suppressor, and his dog, apparently, decided to just open fire into a crowd of people trying to enjoy their Saturday night dinner. This was maybe 12 hours before another lunatic just walked into a church today. I covered it in my first video. Lunatic walked into a church today and did something absolutely heinous, like a jihadi, burned the church down, took out. I mean, it was just, you have to see that video, I guess, if you want to know what's going on with that. But we already know who this guy is. In fact, he has a bizarre, famous past. He once was taken to the Country Music Television Awards by Kelly Pickler. From Regis and Kelly, is that who it is? I don't know. She's on TV. She used to be pretty hot. I don't know if she's hot anymore now. Then he filed an unfounded lawsuit against her. He also wrote a book called Hitting the Head or something like that about taking a round to the dome while in Afghanistan. He is a very clearly mentally deranged ex-soldier with probably multiple levels of PTSD. He's filed something like dozens and dozens of spurious lawsuits, all of which he's lost. Nigel Edge, 39. The guy today was 40 too. So what was happening in 1985, 1986? Anyway, he fired into a crowd. I know there was 9 or 10 injured. 3 did not survive. At a restaurant called the American Fish Company restaurant, a popular tourist hotspot in Southport, North Carolina, at 9:30 p.m. last night. Edge, who changed his name from Sean de Beauvois, was ecstatic to be the American Idol star. Oh, that's who Kelly Pickler. She's American Idol. Okay, I don't know. I don't watch those shows. In 2012, he was pictured next to her on the red carpet in his Marine uniform. I'm ecstatic about being here at the Country Music Awards with Kelly, he told Taste of Country at the time, and he was even happier to consider a friend. She's the most sincere person I know. She's an angel, he added. All those kind words while Pickler soon went out the window, as in February 2025, well, I wouldn't say soon, that was, I don't know when he went to the Country Music Awards, but this February, he sued her, claiming that she attempted to poison him, a straight man, during the award show. I'm not really sure how that's relevant. Edge claimed Pickler had offered him a poisoned glass of Jim Beam whiskey that he refrained from drinking because he didn't want to be ill, the lawsuit said. He went on to say that it was a hate crime. It was orchestrated by Pickler, who attempted to take his life in accordance with white supremacist PED plan laid out in the discovery. So he's just crazy. He's just completely crazy. I don't even remember that's who Kelly Pickler is. I don't know. I don't recognize her. I do know a guy that looks like him, though. Edge has been behind numerous lawsuits filed just this year, according to records. One of the legal filings accused Southport Church of trying to take his life, according to a lawsuit he filed in May. In it, he also claimed that the Generations Church was behind a civil conspiracy drawn up by the LGBTQ community and, of course, also white supremacist PEDs to take his life because he was a straight man, the filing said. Edge had also filed another similar lawsuit back in January against Brunswick Medical Center, where he accused the facility of being part of a conspiracy launched by the LGBTQ white supremacists, who were this time out to get him because he survived their attack in Iraq, per the lawsuit. Both lawsuits, of course, were dismissed with prejudice. Records show the filing involving Pickler also remains open. Several shots rang out before Edge allegedly fled the scene in his intercoastal waterway toward Oak Island, about 40 minutes outside of Wilmington, Saturday night, in what officials refer to as a premeditated attack. 3 people lost their lives and 5 others were injured after Edge, who identifies as a combat veteran with PTSD, opened fire, according to the police. Now, again, this seems like a scenario where the VA failed this guy. And you have somebody with PTSD and weapons, and it is a witch's brew of bad things that could only get worse, essentially. Edge, who cops described as a lone wolf in the incident, was armed with his AR, police say in a press conference. Other firearms were also found in the vehicle. He faces 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted. Edge, who resides in Oak Island and is familiar among local police department, is being held without bond. He will make his first court appearance on Monday. Now, the motive behind the attack remains unclear. Those deceased have not yet been identified. Sadly, a lot of the victims in this case appear not to be members of the community, but people here on vacation. District Attorney John David. So I wouldn't be any sadder. I mean, I guess he's saying it's sad because it's hard to identify them. Maybe that's it. Again, this is crazy. You know, we had the ICE facility last week. We had the church today. We had this guy last night. This guy is a little harder to kind of really peg, other than the fact that he's clearly some sort of schizo. Some people might call him MK Ultra or something like that. You know, he has clearly had a mental break. We don't quite know yet anything about the motivations of the person that went into the church. Did he leave behind a manifesto? Did he leave all this information? I assume will probably be readily available later today. So make sure you subscribe or you get in the Discord. I probably won't make any more videos today unless there's a huge break in the case. Otherwise, I'll save it for Monday because I got to take some time off. This is bonkers. So essentially, just sat in his boat and ripped off shots at unarmed people. Southport is 30 miles south of Wilmington, North Carolina, on the Cape Fear River. The yacht basin from which the suspect fired is the southeastern corner of the state, where the intercoastal waterway, Cape Fear River, and Atlantic Ocean all converge. The American Fish Company boasts itself as one of the neighborhood's favorite hangouts. On Saturdays, their live band, Bacon Grease, takes to the stage from 7 to 10. The restaurant is one of many that line the marina. This is also backdrop for the 2013 movie Safe Haven. Don't really care. It's not important. I think we have, obviously, the ideological problem that we're dealing with. You know, the ICE loser, or the losers that went after Charlie Kirk, or, you know, Hassan Piker's viewers and Hassan. We have the ideological war going on, but there is also a mental health crisis. Now, they intersect, you know, where people on the left are also mentally ill who carry out these attacks. But there are normal or unideologically driven people out there who need, basically, what's the word for it? They need to be involuntary, institutionalized. That's what I was thinking of. This guy probably throwing every red flag in the book. When you say the police, you know, knew him well, that means they probably had all sorts of run-ins with him. You know, I guarantee you there will be people that will not be surprised by what this guy did and what his actions were. You know, again, you call it the LGBT community and supremacists. Well, those two things don't intersect. If he had said the LGBTQ and like the PED community, maybe you could say they do intersect because by their own definition they do. But again, why are they white supremacists? He's white. So like this guy's crazy. And now I'm not quite sure how they determined that it was premeditated. Maybe he had confessed something at the scene or something of that manner. I'm guessing what's going to happen is he's going to say, I did it to draw attention to how the VA didn't treat my PTSD. That's what I'm going to guess. You know, we'll find out if I'm right or wrong, but it's not going to bring those people back to life. At least with the church, you could talk about, hey, no more soft targets, this kind of thing. Charlie Kirk should have had drone security. Would have never happened if he did. But you have, I don't know what you do for the guy like this, who's floating around in a boat with his dog and then just taking pot shots at a group of people. There is no, I don't know what to tell you other than you need to reopen the mental institutions. And I'm going to guess that this guy should have been institutionalized a long time ago. I'm going to guess that he probably had an extensive run-in with local police. He had a record probably of all sorts of like disturbances and crazy breakdowns and things like that. I'm just guessing that when we get the whole picture on this individual, it's going to be very obvious that he was headed for this. We pretty much know the recipe, right? We know the recipe of these people. We know the recipe, the ingredients that go together to create somebody like this. And we can probably determine, hey, maybe this guy's kind of at high risk. I don't know what drives somebody to do this other than being, demonic possession. A weak mind is easier to be infested. And it's about all I don't know what drives somebody to do something evil like this other than saying it's the devil. And between this and the church attack out there, all I can say is please, learn to carry, practice, be vigilant, keep your eyes open, and be mindful. Know what to do when you hear those first shots ring out, to get down, to know where the exits are every time. You say, well, I don't want to live like that. Well, that's fine. Odds are you are never, ever going to have to use it. But it's simple stuff you can do every day. It's simple stuff we talk about in our Discord too. So I hope you'll go over to thequartering.com/join, join it, get in there, talk directly to me and all the other viewers and reporters, and Hannah Claire's in there, Melanie Mack's in there. My entire staff's all in there. And we'll talk more about that today. If there's a big break, I'll upload a new video. If not, make sure you subscribe to this channel for all the latest updates, and we'll talk to you again real soon.